It's so easy to become someone that you're not. All you need is pushes or nudges in some direction different from who you are, and you see that those nudges and pushes come along with either fame, social acceptance, money, appreciation, clout, some sort of immediate gratification or reasoning as to why you should fall down any rabbit hole becoming a person that you're not. With those simple nudges or pushes in that direction, it can completely shatter who you are, change who you are, and recreate you as a completely different person, a shadow of your former self. Now, this can be used in the context of many, many situations. It could be a popular YouTuber. It could be someone who gets radicalized by the Twitter mobs, pushing them in some sort of direction, or it could happen in a fictional story to a girl who wants to be accepted, someone who's a kind-hearted soul, someone who unfortunately, due to society around them and bad decisions that they make, metamorphosize and emerge into a completely different being. Today, I am doing something no sane YouTuber has ever done before. An actual no one understands, prepare to cry analysis video, deep diving into emergence or metamorphosis, depending on the translation of the manga, however you want to, however you read it, I don't know, or maybe you didn't and you're lucky. This is a doujinshi. It is a hentai manga, and it contains so much sadness and sorrow. It is truly the most harrowing hentai ever created, not because of the gore stuff that definitely exists in this hentai. You should not read it ever. No one should. But because it will break you emotionally because of how well written the characters actually are. I like when you can see parallels between some sort of fictional story or fictional character development in real life. Hentai is a whimsical, fantasy-esque place where it doesn't need to make sense for it to get you, it could get your schmeat beaten, if you know what I'm saying. But every once in a while, you happen upon a nugget of truth bombs, and it will make moisture come out of the wrong goddamn body parts. I didn't want to feel. I wanted to fap. But I wanted to talk about this today specifically because you see this kind of stuff happen a lot. I wanted to do a little deep dive on this boy, and I apologize sincerely to Stevie for editing this video. If you do like this video, leave a like, subscribe for future stuff. I'm happy to do more hentai thoughtful analysis. Imagine unironically analyzing porn. But to get those of you that are unaware into the correct mindset, which is a sad one in this case, Metamorphosis is a story about a girl. She's a nerdy girl, she has glasses, she's not following the trends, and she's kind of ignored by society. She's just generic, and being the generic person that she is, she's just going about a generic life. But she doesn't have that pizzazz, that popularity. She doesn't have that next level thing that all the kids think is super important. She doesn't love who she is, but she is who she is. Everyone, no matter what stage of life they're at, wants to be more. Envy and greed are carnal parts of every human being, and I totally understand and can associate with the mentality of, I'm gonna change myself in order to achieve this more. Whatever the proverbial more in this situation is, whether it's more clout, more subscribers, more growth, more money, more fame. It's a popular enough ideal that everyone can latch onto. And I think it's a very common lesson that sometimes you'll latch onto this thing and you'll end up falling down the rabbit hole to a point of no return. This manga is an encapsulation of that point of no return. She ends up deciding, you know what? She is gonna become the popular kids. She ends up joining a new school and she changes herself up. No more glasses, no more cringe clothing. She's gonna be one of the upper echelon elite hot women. And well, she does what hot women do in that school, apparently. You know, they go to parties, who cares about grades, hanging out with dudes, messing up with the wrong types of people because punks are cool. Who needs to follow the rules? Gamers. I got clout, I got friends, I got people looking up to me for the first time, and it becomes like a drug. And you know what else is like a drug? That's right, drugs are like drugs. Man, philosophical stuff pouring out of this channel today, huh? And the kids look up to people that are cool. They smoke, they drink a lot, baby, even though they're underage. These are things that are looked up to in a high school setting. It's obvious carnal desires of humanity, and therefore it's put on some sort of precipice. It's considered cool by a lot of people that do them and don't want to feel bad about them. People that want to feel like it's acceptable ways to behave in society, and therefore it's given a popular stigma. A stigma among the young guys that it's awesome. It's the red pill of the modern day. It's the Andrew Tate cult mentality of the modern day. I'm not saying that some of his advice isn't good in moderation. inspiration, but taken to an extreme, and it is absolutely destructive. Anyway, she falls down this rabbit hole. She mixes up with the wrong crowd, and due to her popularity just getting more and more and more, she is rewarded by her bad decisions, which makes her and leads her down a path of making even worse ones. She starts doing a lot more drugs. She hangs out with a lot of the worst crowd. All of a sudden, her body is basically being sold out. She wishes she could be who she was, but she is on such a constant high of doing the wrong thing and constantly ruining herself for worse and worse reasons that she cannot pick herself up. She cannot escape this nightmare that she found herself in, and even worse, she's convincing herself the reason why she can't get out is because she's not deep enough. She no longer knows which direction is up anymore. The person that she was quote-unquote in love with, that she thought somehow cared about her and didn't just care about the meaningless sex, well, he just cared about the meaningless sex. She was basically used as a sex object, and yet she was somehow in the delusional reality that she was being appreciated for who she was, as opposed to just being a tool used for the enjoyment and pleasure of others. It was only the stark reality of her getting smacked over the head with the fact that she was appreciated by no one that she started recognizing the error in her ways. I don't want to get into the gory details because that's really not the point of this video. Eventually, she becomes pregnant due to all of this meaningless sex with lots and lots of people, and suddenly her value by these people is diminished greatly. She is thrown onto the streets. You look at the before after pictures and it's even wilder than you see on fitness YouTubers' thumbnails. Before, she was a gentle soul, a gentle person who was just doing her best to live right. Then she became someone who was not appreciated, but someone who was used for who she wasn't, and that is who she became. She goes through all forms of different treatment, different surgeries. She gets different tattoos and different addictions to different drugs. She's living on the street. She has nothing to her name, no money, no actual friends that appreciate her for herself, and only the people that used her when they could. They used her, abused her, and threw her away when they no longer needed her. At the end of this horrible, harrowing story, she is left alone, poor and ragged, someone that no one wants to spend the time of day to even look at, living on the streets with no money and no way to dig herself out of the pit that she found herself in. She is brutalized by people in an unfortunate situation also. Her child killed. The story ends with her beaten and broken, bleeding in an alley, completely alone, no future, and with only a past of regrets. The only thing that she could have cared about at that point has been taken from her. She wishes she didn't exist. She wishes she was never born. And what's so scary about this story is that you could kind of see where she's coming from at every single point of the tale. Yes, it's a gory, gross hentai story on some level, but on another level, you can completely sympathize with what she's going through, as the story takes painstaking care to put you in the mind of this protagonist the entire time. She is getting affirmation for making her mistakes, and that only causes her to make bigger ones. She's being used, but she can't tell that her being used isn't just her being appreciated. She thinks that what she's receiving is appreciation when it's just attention because of what they could get out of her for this moment. It is a truly tragic, harrowing, horrifying tale. And there's a reason why I decided to make this video today. Wipe your tears away, gamers, because this is something that happens a lot. And now, I'm not talking about people that are completely unknown to the world, because this character, this main character in Emergence, this is a character that died or lived in complete obscurity. She had not a person in her life that actually cared about her to know if she lived or died. I don't even want to think about how many people were radicalized in ways that they ended up burning every bridge they had and wound up in the same position as this girl here. But as far as people that are in the public eye, I am recording this video the day after Aiden Ross was banned on Twitch. I know, it's definitely a tangent, not the same situation, but I could definitely see the similarities here. And that's why Emergence is such a powerful hentai story. It's such a powerful narrative. It really makes me think, and it really makes me feel. Aiden Ross, to quickly summarize my thoughts here, was a streamer that grew in popularity, made his collabs, had some sort of values, and eventually continued to get canceled by people that, well, they were canceling him for normal things. The guy freaking hung out with Andrew Tate and became an absolute brain-dead zombie following his every move. Andrew Tate stands up and he goes to sniff the chair that Andrew Tate was sitting on. It's like the ultimate L, but Andrew Tate is someone very popular and very rich and gave him a lot of love, or at least he thinks it's love, so that he can keep giving Andrew Tate the platform. Andrew Tate used Aiden Ross. I don't think he ever loved Aiden Ross, but as long as Aiden Ross kept preaching and giving him attention, he kept funneling more people and more eyeballs to him. Maybe Andrew Tate does care about Aiden Ross. I don't know. The point is, he did use the guy, and he didn't mind watching Aiden Ross fall down a deep, dark path in order to keep following him. He kept making more and bigger mistakes. He goes on stream one day preaching the gospel of Andrew Tate, saying porn is bad, OnlyFans, women, God, they are like the skanks, the horrible parts of society. Then the next day he streams on Kick. It's a new platform with basically no regulation, and he literally streams porn showing it to underage children that watch his streams. And the more criticism he gets for that, and it's completely warranted criticism, by the way, the further he's radicalized in someone that believes himself to be a villain and enemy of society. Spouting things purely for the sake of hurting people, being homophobic and being transphobic on all of his streams, doing all that weird cringe, that even if he did believe, spouting it is purely to get the claps and appreciation and adoration of that type of group. And there will come a time that unfortunately these decisions probably will bite him in the ass. And I hope he could find a way to turn his life around before it's too late, and that he can no longer start influencing other people to steer down the same path that he steered down. At this point right now, he is a bad influence on the people watching him, and the people around him are a bad influence on him. It's a vicious cycle. This is the story of Metamorphosis, a completely realistic telling of a girl who starts descending down a path because she's getting attention and adoration forced descending down that path, only to recognize that no one loved or appreciated her for who she was, only for what she contributed. And when she no longer could contribute in that way, she was left aside as a broken vessel. I don't know if this video was maybe a little too heavy, but anyway, like and subscribe, I guess. Feel free to share this video to people that you think would benefit from heeding this warning from some random 2D VTuber alien ass looking sans motherfucker. I don't take myself too seriously here, but I do beg you guys, stay weird, fam. Just be yourself. You are who you are. You can improve upon yourself, but don't be someone else for some sort of transient adoration that will descend you down a dark path you cannot escape from. That's it.